Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan, and it is Tuesday night. We're live again, 7 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. You got to subscribe to know. You got to hit the bell so you know when we're here, when we're live. We're going to be doing a lot more of those lives, so hope you guys are ready for them. They're going to be exciting. Thank you guys so much for checking in. Appreciate our sponsor tonight, Shopify. That's right. We'll talk about that in a little while, but want to thank them right off the bat. Appreciate you, Shopify. But yeah, guys, I'm feeling great. I talked about in some of my earlier, a few weeks ago, earlier in this journey, I like doing this group and trying to work through some of my traumas of the past and things like that. Doing really good. Doing great, even. I'm going to stick with it. Doing great. It's been really helping, identifying a lot of things, working with people and stuff. Like, it's just been really a wonderfully supportive and terrific source of knowledge to help my mental health. So I've really enjoyed it. I wanted to make sure I point that out tonight because I know it's been crazy all over the place, but I wanted to point that out to everybody. Doing really good, enjoying it, and I'm ready to kick in and start the show. But I can't do that by myself. There's a man here I need to introduce. He's like some would say he's like the Tonto to my Lone Ranger, sort of my Kimusabi, if you will. Some might say the Robin to my Batman, the one who wears the little green underoos. Some might say the Ewok to my Princess Leia. Producer Paul, let's bring him on in. What's up, buddy?
Those were fun. I was trying to think of good ones. I was like, damn, I got nothing. You said all the ones I would have said.
I'm sitting up there and I'm watching you laugh. And I'm like, at this point, I'm going to just try and draw this out to see how long Paul laughs. I don't care if anyone else is laughing at this moment about this.
It'd be the whole show.
The whole time, yeah. Just like it's okay, that's an hour, guys. See you later.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, right. Derpy, what's going on? It's Mickzilla. I love that.
Does that mean I'm like Mini Kong? Damn it.
No, you can be Manila. Yeah, that was actually Godzilla's son's name. Manila.
That's me. I'm slightly vanilla, so yeah, Manila. Yeah, that adds up.
I love it. Drum roll, get him in here. There, we got him in here. He's here. Thank you, Derpy, for joining in.
Yes,
Derpy will tell you where to get the good chicken. That's
okay.
In North Carolina. There are days that I'm like, I think about like where to eat, and I live in like a really good place. Really has some great food around it. Like
right.
Especially Southern. And I sometimes wish to myself, I'm like, damn, I wish I lived in North Carolina for this, because I know that you guys have this and this. you went and got dinner tonight. Where?
KFC. And it didn't treat me well. I'm not okay, y'all. But we'll be okay. It's fine. That's why they make Pepto-Bismol. That's all good. It's all good.
No, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And that is why Popeyes should be a sponsor of our show. Let's tell our horror stories of KFC.
God bless.
Derpy agrees, man. Yes, and one of those great places is Carolina Fear Fest.
That is pretty good.
We are the official media partners of Carolina Fear Fest. Woo-hoo. So we're going to be there. We're going to be having some fun. I'm still trying
next year. Because I'm going to get Mick banned this year. Then
no, don't get me banned.
We're going to have fun, you guys. It'll be worth it. 100%.
No, not that time. Like other fun, lighter fun, non-banning fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
I got to let your Batman time shine. I got to be Robin and make some stupid mistakes.
Oh, no, don't do that. Robin's the good. You be the good
Robin.
You
could be like the George Clooney Batman.
We do not talk about that Robin, Batman and Robin. That's not the Batman and Robin. My nipples are going nowhere on any suits. Dude, Bruce Wayne. Fuck that movie. You're trying to get me to rant. There's like 3 things that set me off, and it's Sound of Music, this, and I forget what else. And I hate Batman and Robin. 40-year-old Robin. He's older than George Clooney in the movie. Not quite, but he's not. He's almost.
was perfect.
Let me put it this way. The age range of it still makes no sense. I'm not even going to say it. It still makes no fucking sense.
Yes.
Every fucking time. Every goddamn time. What did you do? Your research? And you were like, I'm going back to old episodes. What pisses off Mick? I'm going to go get him.
No.
You're just like, oh, this motherfucker's going to bring up KFC. I'm going to bring up Batman and Robin.
I just saw that twinkle in your right eye go away when I brought up George Clooney, and I was like, just go with it. Here we go.
And that was the thing when everybody in the Flash, when everybody was like, I knew that information beforehand that he was going to show up at the end of the Flash as the new Batman. And when I heard that, I was like, that's bullshit. I like George Clooney, but I hate that fucking movie. I hate it so much. And I was like, what is Chris O'Donnell going to show up and be just older than him?
Probably.
Are they both gonna be white haired? And it's so, oh god,
this really is like the DC universe is winning movie wise.
Forever wasn't that bad. Forever, all right. listen. Derby says, as a Batman fan, just know even the Schumacher had the right idea and tone the horrible. Just write it. Yeah, I know. Forever wasn't that bad. All right, so yeah, I don't hate Forever. I don't love it. Mm-hmm. I don't hate, but that's it. It's that for me. It's like it wasn't that bad.
That's fair.
Batman and Robin was that. That got to, and then Alicia Silverstone's there.
God bless. Wait, yeah.
Batgirl is who? Alfred's what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And they both look just as old as George Clooney. I'm going to adopt them. Why? Yeah. They're old enough to go get their own apartments because they're 27 and 43. They're good. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, you're not selling me. This is, oh my god.
This is my movie pick for tonight, you guys. So if you want to tune in, I will be watching it tonight.
You're watching Batman and Robin tonight?
I might watch it tonight. Now that we're talking about it, I want to remember how bad it actually is. Might have
Why
to
do you hate your eyes? Don't hate your eyes. Love your eyes.
And dark. Nah, man.
I hate it so much. Oh, what's the first topic? Let's get off of this. Get this taste in my mouth. Hey, I wanted to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
No. Uh-oh. What do you think I'm going to ask you? What movie is like too much for you? And it doesn't have to be gory, doesn't have to be bloody. It could just be like over sentimental. It could be just like too many emotions come out because of it. Like, what's a movie for you that's just like, I can't touch it? Like, it's just too much for me.
Spit on Your Grave.
Wow, really? Violence, huh?
Yeah, it's that whole scene, the whole, excuse language, y'all, but the rape scene and making the handy capable brother do it too. That's just, it was too tough for me. I was like, this is just like that. That was a one-time watch and done.
I get that. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of one-time watches for me. Ones that I've been like, Serbian film, never again. Never. Batman and Robin, probably never again. No. I was thinking about it more from the angle of like crushing.
Like soul crushing?
Oh no, I like your answer. Because I didn't think of that. So I appreciate you throwing out that idea. Mm-hmm. Because even then, like I was thinking gory, but that's violent. Like what's something that's really violent? Because it doesn't necessarily have to be gory to be just too much. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot. Yeah. I don't think I'd ever watch Irreversible again because of it and stuff like that. So I'm definitely with you. Like, and those are movies that surprised me with it. I didn't know this was coming. Mm-hmm. Like had I known, I kind of steer away a little bit once I hear. I'm like, not really for me.
But if it's one that just kind of crushes my heart a little bit, where I'm like, why would I watch this? I'm just gonna be really sad and kind of depressed afterwards. It's probably gonna be one of your favorite movies, which is Train to Busan.
That's a great pick. I was thinking that one earlier too. Like stuff like that. Yeah,
when that it really scene with the dad. Oh god.
Oh my god. You're gonna. Oh
yeah. Because I watched that on Easter. Because on Easter, Paul watches zombie movies.
Dude, you should watch Cargo. Have you ever seen it?
Nope.
Martin Freeman.
I'm marking it down. Cargo.
It's going to hit your heart just like Train to Busan, probably even harder because it's legit like a father, a mother, and a baby, and they're in the like Australian outback or something. I forget where they were. It was years ago. I started it. I just had Jack, and then I was like, nope. Like I got like halfway through it, and I was like, I can't. I was like, my anxiety's up because of this reason, and I have not been able to go back to it yet. So respect to the movie, but I just have not been able to go back to it yet. Like the mom gets turned, and so like they duct tape her to the chair, hopefully find a cure, and like he wakes up in like the car where they're sleeping, and he she bit him.
Oh.
And now he has a certain amount of days to find a place for his daughter.
Right.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
And like I had, like, Jack was just born. Like, I think he was like born like 4 months before. I'm like,
Nope.
I was Jesus, dude. And that actually that leads me to our next next topic that I wanted to talk about is horror better when it's darker or lighter? And what I mean by this is, it doesn't have to, when I say lighter, it doesn't have to be horror comedy.
Right.
I just mean, like, something like that versus Friday the 13th Part 2.
Right.
Like,
right.
As a horror fan, like, I want to discuss the idea of, do we want to laugh at things more than be afraid of them? So yeah, I thought I'd kick this off, and I wanted to see what you thought.
Absolutely. So my thoughts on it, I prefer them to be more dark, because I think that's challenging. And I get, maybe visually, we'll just say Train to Busan, I get, like, you're not sitting there jumping the whole time. It's a psychological horror because you put yourself in that dad's shoes. Like, oh, I need to, I wasn't quite there all the time, this and that, and things, movies like that are darker horror wise, I enjoy, because I think horror just shouldn't be jump scares or just stabbings or things like that. I think the psychological aspect is almost worse, because it's easier to put yourself in those shoes. Like the times we've talked about The Shining and how that absolutely could potentially happen, and things of that nature. So I prefer a dark more than a light.
Okay. All right. So why do you? And I want to expand on this a little bit more, because, like, for me, I'm so up in the air. I think you need it both. I think you need the balance, and I'm trying to think of, what do I prefer? Because I would love to say, I need the dark,
right?
And then I think about those darker movies, a lot of elevated stuff,
right?
Comes up when you think about that. But I'm like, but do I need that? Because I was like, I really don't want to leave, my lighter stuff.
Right. No. Yeah.
And I'm not saying one or the other has to be taken away. I'm just, but, like, in a hypothetical, like, if you had to choose which way does horror go, I'm like, I don't think I could. I was like, that lighter stuff is the stuff I enjoy more than I think anything else. I think that's what you build the conventions on and everything else.
That is true.
So it's almost weird. Like, the darker horror movies are almost more niche.
Yeah, they really are.
How weird is that?
Yeah. Now that you brought that up, I'm sitting there and I'm like, not many people have seen Train to Busan as opposed to everyone who saw Zombieland. Yeah, you're
That's
right.
fair. Yeah. And a lot of those darker movies that are really scary or really are, like, intense in nature are usually word of mouth movies. Look at Late Night with the Devil right now. Don't but, like, Imaginary got, like, this wide release.
Yeah.
Night Swim, things like that. And I'm not, listen, I'm happy to review Imaginary on the show with you, so you can say everything you want and more, but let me watch it first, okay? Gotcha. And then we will do it. And we're gonna do Late Night with the Devil, 100% guaranteed.
Good.
I just have to get to see it. I haven't had a chance to go to the theater and see it yet, so I am very anxious to go and check it out, though. But so I think about that, and I'm like, when those things come out, those are the word of mouth ones where you're like, oh, check this out. But I feel like that lighter fare is what we're oversaturated.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
Like, think about zombie movies in general. Like, how often do we really get a really dark zombie movie?
It's very rare. They're usually pretty lighthearted. I mean, granted, I'm saying this, you guys, but these are some of my favorites. So, like, Shaun of the Dead, the Zombieland ones. What's another zombie comedy? Warm Bodies, things like that. So a lot of them are lighter. Yeah. And Shaun of the Dead, I could quote that movie start to finish from memory. So I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't see that in it ever again.
Well, yeah, that's such a great movie. I love it. Go down to the Winchester for a pint.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going with something more emotional. Boy in a Striped Pajamas. Never again will I watch it. Slow build up, make myself watch it again. Yeah, I get that. Life is Beautiful. I would throw that in there too. Schindler's List. Really hard watches. Oh, Come and See. I will never watch that again. I will never watch that movie. Holy shit, I will never watch that movie. It is a brilliant movie. Probably one of the most poignant and realistic war movies of all time. I will never watch that movie again.
Yeah.
Because after you watch that movie, it fucks you up.
Mm-hmm.
But I do, if you are a fan of movies, and especially if you're a reviewer,
right,
this is one of those movies where it's like, you need to see this. You know, like if you're that, I do this. This is one of those movies you should see. It'll fuck you up. If you're young, hold off for a little while.
Right.
It's pretty rough because it is told from the point of view of a Russian boy having to deal with Nazis in World War II. So like it's a lot. But yeah, it's pretty horrifying. Beautiful film though. Beautiful. Not in its nature. I say it's better psychologically. I like that instead of gore. Okay, I'm kind of with you on that too. I like my slashers to be hidden for the most part. So I can get something light or dark, not sure. I like this. See, I'm back and forth too.
Yep.
You know, and see what we're right there with you. So we might not know more.
No. And we have our own opinions. I mean, your opinion is still valid. We don't all have to agree.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Come and See is very fucking dark. I have warned you. I've warned you. It's not a horror movie. It is a war movie. It's worse than a dark horror movie because this is like, oh my God, this stuff was real. You know, so like watch at your own risk. So like if you can't handle it, but I'm saying like if you're like movie cinephile, like it is an amazing movie. But to go back to the topic though, like I almost kind of dig that though. I almost like that we've established this sort of that campiness is almost like the norm of horror.
Yeah.
And that real horror films. Oh man, I love this. I want to go back and do some research on this. I want to research and see if there was a turn because in the beginning it wasn't about the camping.
No, it wasn't.
You know, it was very much about they're trying to send horror, but then we get into the nuclear films. We get to the drive-in age, stuff like that, and those films started to become more. Well, actually, they were pretty terrifying in their own nature. They weren't that silly. The idea of
they
like
took themselves very serious,
radiation, stuff like that. So like a lot of stuff was for its time. So I would have to say the turning point is probably the 80s, right? Where we really, I feel like everything. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was just saying, I'd probably agree with you. And with the drive-ins, you know, you think Texas Chainsaw Massacre and more of the slashers that were adding some comedy. So I think probably you're right. Between 70s and 80s has to be when they started going not quite as serious all the time and adding a lot more comedy to the horror genre.
I'd almost argue their turning point happened after Friday the 13th.
It happened.
I
want to do research.
The reason I say that, and this is just off the top of my head, yeah, we haven't researched or anything yet, but off the top of my head, that turning point comes in. Now, everything you get before isn't a campy movie. It wasn't done campily. Like, it may be considered campy, the 50s movies in the 80s, you know, like, oh, those are so campy, those are so fun, because they're not scary by today's standards anymore. I get that. I get it. We do that now. My point is, it was taken seriously. By the 80s, they did make movies that did not take horror seriously. And I'm not talking comedies.
Right.
Like actually written to not take it seriously.
Right.
So
the stuff.
The stuff, like yes. Like, you know, and it's so the 80s essentially made so many campy movies that forced it to become the biggest part of the genre and its own tropes of the genre. It kind of switched to a point where regular horror should be campy or more light in tone.
Yeah.
And dark, like themed horror is a niche subgenre.
Yeah. Disco killed with the horror genre. There it is.
Because if you
first
give me a horror movie that you think by today's standards that came out recently is truly like a dark, terrifying movie.
The top of the head, Hereditary. That's probably the most recent one where I was like.
So Hereditary, for everyone who thinks, because I'm clearly not one of them.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, because there's a lot of people who really into that movie. So I'm not going to shit on it. So everybody who thinks that movie is really dark and scary, that is the same of what audiences thought about Dracula in 1931 was it?
Right.
But in the 80s it got to a point. Now you can argue too, like we're doing Godzilla, right? Godzilla stopped taking itself seriously quite a few times too. It changed directions in the franchise, but I'd argue that changed with the times too. It was still taking itself seriously, but maybe this time as a children's film,
right?
This time as like a, more of a horror film. This time, So where with the 80s, it's like, okay, how outrageous can we get?
Yeah.
And that outrage really turned the tide into what we think of horror.
Yeah.
So everyone who talks about like horror is about fear is full of shit.
Yeah.
It's not anymore. It hasn't been for a long, long time. Like the old guys, the old heads can say that. But now horror is not about fear anymore. Horror is about, I think it's because it's about community.
Yeah.
There's no other really sci-fi, maybe anime, genres that really have like a huge community,
Yeah. Especially sci-fi. Yeah.
Comic books is a big one, so there are as fandoms, but I'd put horror up there as like one of the big ones. It's one of the biggest, so.
And it's only getting bigger, I feel like.
So the Scene Snobs, we're giving our seal of approval. And that is, guys, horror movies are meant to be lighthearted.
Yep.
Lighthearted and we hit the grumps.
There you go. That's interesting. I'm excited to do the research on this because I wonder what the correlation of that mixed with different wars going on in the climate of society at the time where people wanted to go to movies to get away from the real horrors going on, as opposed to times when there wasn't a lot going on and they're like, oh, we can be super dark right now because we don't have a lot going on.
Well, definitely society has influenced always the horror that was written or was being written about, or eventually became like movies and such. And World War One, of course, you're getting Nosferatu, you're getting Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, like right after World War One ends, and the Spanish flu, and like what that means, like invading, into new country, stuff like that. Then you get into the 30s, and you start seeing more of those movies, and it's very draws onto the depression era, what's going on, rebuilding, things like that. 40s were in the war, but it's more trying to be more of a hopeful time,
right?
So the horror is like, who can you trust?
Which
bleeds right into the 50s, which is nuclear horror and like the nuclear monsters, and also anti-Russian propaganda, stuff like that. So 60s became more psychedelic in its horror. 70s was very dark, very fucking dark, because Vietnam got real dark. And then the 80s, of course, perked back up like it did in the 50s. Like after big wars tend to put out like a decade's worth of really dark stuff, a la 2000 to 2010. You start to see a rise of more interesting artistic look versus a lot of remakes and shit. And then you pop into some really fun, like you're going to start getting more, people having fun with it. So we're in a good span right now for the next like 20 years or so where we might get some really good horror that we really enjoy and goes down. And then, whatever war is about to come up, we'll figure out. I mean, society will tell us what we need to know. So it might be Terminator 2 that we're watching in 20 years. A lot. more as a how do we make this reality? How do we stop this thing? So we're just working on it. Let's see what everybody's saying before we move on to the next one. Oh, George G3, what's up, buddy? Horror is better than it is when it is more realistic to me. That's why I'm not a huge fan. The Final Destinations are pretty solid. I still keep finding trucks on the freeway with wood on them. But it's so funny that you say that though, because you say horror is better when it's more realistic to me. But one of your main examples is the Final Destination films, which is completely unrealistic.
Is it?
Yes. Come on.
Is it? I mean, we don't know what
I'm sorry. Do you think that water just curves to wherever you want it and it's bad?
I've seen water come out of the sky, Mick. It could surprise me any fucking day. I don't know.
Yes, it's completely fantastical in a beautiful way. So I love that even in George's comment, and not putting it down at all, because I believe he does love that more realistic horror, but he still is showing I still love that other side. Right. We're horror fans. We're going to love it all, right?
Right.
And I love that it's still put in there. So it was a hit or miss in the 80s for horror. Sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of memorable stuff. I think a lot of cult that we really loved and fell into.
Yeah.
You could thank censorship. Censorship was always good for it. Which was worse, campy 80s movies or the campy sci-fi movies? Depends on which decade you're talking about. Campy 80s movies or campy 90s sci-fi. 90s sci-fi was hard.
It was really bad.
Really 80s sci-fi. Rotor is really tough. Go check out our
huge
review.
sci-fi fan now because I grew up in the 90s, and yeah, anyway.
That's very fair. Aren't they rebooting that film? Probably.
Don't even have to think about it. Just yes, they probably are.
Speaking of growing up in the 90s, that means you went to high school in the 2000s.
Yep.
And I want to know what high school movie or show best resembles, or shows. It can be more. It can be more than one, or characters, or like. Let's get into it. Let's really get into the nitty gritty of this. That best resembles your high school experience.
Okay. So I besides a lot of the things that happen in the movie, I went with Superbad as far as movies.
I knew you would,
because I had a core group of friends and we were idiots, and then, believe it or not, I was the one obsessed with, girls, blah, blah, blah. So I was totally Jonah Hill's piece of shit character in that movie. And I totally had a McLovin. I'm not going to name my friends. I love you guys. But yeah, I could.
Wait, do I know him?
No. I didn't know Matt back then.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, no.
So I went with dude. I just heard Matt say dude.
Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't even hear him. Sorry, Matt. As for shows, I went with Skins. I don't know if you watched that one. The UK Skins.
Expound a little bit, please.
I mean, I'm sure everyone's high school experience is very dramatic, but I mean, a lot of things that happened in Skins were just very, I feel for Tony. I understood where Tony was, good intentions, but always kind of choosing wrong and managing to fuck up a good thing for selfish reasons. Especially in high school, I was very selfish, and I didn't necessarily mean to do anybody wrong or anything like that, but I tended to learn everything the hard way in high school more than just doing something right.
Okay, well, just keep in mind that's not actual reality. That was just that was a terrible experience, and that's okay to be annoyed by or upset by, but that's not you anymore.
Nah,
or ever was.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure it was, but
maybe.
But
either way, it's not you now.
Yeah, no.
So.
What about you, Mick? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The more you know.
No one's got the battle.
Oh, that's right. You were a 90s kid. You were you were a baby in the early 90s. You didn't see the More You Know ads every fucking second on Saturday mornings. So, quick story. Really? You've never seen the More You Know ads? With the
I've seen them on YouTube or people making fun of them, but I've never, not formally. No.
It hurts my heart it hurts my heart that you're young enough to not know what that is.
You're welcome.
This whole thing just got derailed for a second. Because I'm like, what else does he not know? Do you know what Saturday morning cartoons are?
Yeah, we had Saturday morning cartoons. They were different though. I was watching what was a good Saturday morning one? Beetlejuice was just going, and I remember watching TV Saturday mornings.
What did you watch Saturday morning cartoons on? What channel?
Cartoon Network.
See, it doesn't work.
Sorry.
No. No, I'm sorry. I'm yelling at you. No, I don't. Don't apologize. Not you. See, this is what bothers. No, all right. Okay. I am a proponent for progress and and progressing on, but Saturday morning cartoons being lost on a Saturday is bugs me. I just feel like I get it, networks, but you should have kept them around. And no more toys and cereal. That bugs me too.
Yeah.
So there's some things I feel like you're taking away from kids, and those are experiences. I don't need all the other shit that everybody else is complaining about. All I need is put the toys back in the cereal.
Yep.
Make the kids work for it. Mm-hmm. Make them finish a goddamn box. It would be nice again. Instead of going to the next one, we're I'm feeling this today. It's if there's a toy at the end of that one, you'd be going for that and keep going. And then Saturday morning cartoon. That's no.
I miss the McDonald's stuff. So I miss their nice glass cups, and I mean, I think up until a couple years ago, I still had my Hercules plate when they were doing those hard plastic plates.
Okay, I got one for you, and I remember those. And you just
dope.
kicked the memory that's coming back around. Yeah. But it wasn't Batman and Robin. It was Batman Forever cups, transparent
Okay.
cups. They were from McDonald's too. They were pretty cool. I had those, but the Hercules plate I remember too.
Yeah.
Didn't they? Was it? It was all the Hercules characters, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, they had some awesome stuff back then.
Yeah. I think up until the first, when I moved out at 18, I think they still had I still had my Muppet Treasure Island Gonzo that you could play with in the bathtub. Where you push him down, you'd paddle around. And that was really cool.
That's cool. I remember Muppet Babies. They had a Muppet Babies one when I was a kid, like real little.
Okay.
There was all the figures and they came in the cars, but you could take them out of the cars and then you had the figures.
That's cool.
And I was just like, that's really cool. Like you think back then, and then they had that for like DuckTales too.
Okay.
Or I don't know if you could take those out of the cars, but I remember they had like DuckTales. They had sort of a similar situation. Just a lot. Everything seemed to like get. All right. Well, now I'm on this. Now I'm on this.
Sorry.
Stop apologizing for good ideas.
I miss those now. Now I'm missing them more. I'm like, fuck, man. I wish I still had some of those toys.
I'm gonna look up 80s Happy Meal toys and see what's see what we're missing out on here.
You probably had cool ones. I bet you had like Transformers and they were made of metal and shit. They probably gave you
the ones from Transformers were. I remember those. Those are shitty.
Oh.
I'm just gonna pull up images on Google and see what we got. There we go. So anybody who's listening, we'll talk them out. But if you really want to see what's happening, you got to go to the show. Did I freeze myself?
I don't.
Okay,
You're still moving around on that.
Oh, okay. No, it froze on my end because I was waiting for the thing to pop up. So yeah, look at
so these are cool.
These are the ones I was talking about for the Muppet Babies. You see how they could like come out of the cars and shit.
Yeah.
This was the best you were getting with the Transformers.
Those are really bad. I'm sorry.
They were bad. They were not great. They were not great. They were early too.
Oh, wow.
Which one are these? Oh, I guess these are all just figures, Disney figures they had over time.
Autobots, time for dinner.
I remember these. I had which one? Cool. Oh, I had that one back there with the pink skateboard.
Nice.
I wanted the one with Odie because I really liked Odie too. Dude, they did have some cool shit back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't get these. These must be after my time or something.
Now, I'm just going to take a slight step back. When you're talking about cereal, I remember collecting coupons and eating the cereal as quickly as possible just to get the Tarzan spoon where he'd go every time you'd scooped it in milk when that Tarzan came out.
Wait, you didn't have toys in the box?
No, that was in the box. It was at the bottom.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say we'll get to those next. Cereal box toys in just a second. I want to look at some of these real quick. Yeah, I remember that. Dude,
I've never seen this before.
This is Mac the Knight. He was like a moon guy they had.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was not long lived. Doug Jones played him though, so that was pretty. Yeah, they had the McNugget buddies, which actually I got one when they recently just re-released.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's I call him the Mick Manhattan because it's little Manhattan suit he's wearing. But they used to do those for Halloween too. So they would have like really Frank. Cool. Wait, you never saw the McNugget buddies?
No.
Oh, these were the dinosaur toys. Remember that show?
Yeah, I used to have nightmares about the woman that delivered a baby when they have the mishap with the eggs. I used to call her the purple lady. She used to terrify me as a kid.
Jesus Christ.
Just saying.
These are some of the Halloween ones.
Those are dope.
Yeah, fun, right?
Mama. Now I got dinosaurs stuck in my head. Now I got to watch that tonight too.
Yeah, they did have some awesome toys back then. I remember these. We had these. These were like felt. The Berenstain Bears toys. Like they felt like felt. It was very odd.
They made those into toys. I just thought they were books, period. That's it. Huh.
Yeah, they had some toys. Everything had merch back in the day, dude.
McDonald's, I need you to step it back up again.
They don't do bad things now because my kids will get some stuff sometimes, but it's just not the same. It really isn't. Like, look at that. You used to be able to get the cuddly. You have to buy those extra, but I had Fozzie.
Is Fozzie your favorite?
I fucking love Fozzie. Waka Waka.
Hell yeah.
Look at that. I love these. These were that DuckTales ones I was telling you about.
There you go. Oh, he's in a plane. That's dope.
Yeah, I don't think he came out. That was the only one. And these are more of the Halloween, the buckets. They just brought the buckets back.
Mm-hmm.
So, well. Let's I'm gonna see if I can find some very cool cereal toys before we move. You see, you tanked the whole thing. No, don't say you're sorry. Do not say you're sorry.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Take it. Yes, I'll take it. I'll watch Fox Kids because ABC Kids. Yeah, that's when they were on. So when I was a kid, it was NBC had some good ones. They did Super Mario Brothers TV show. It was a Kid Nintendo. That's a fun one. Dungeons and Dragons, I think, back in the day. They had some crazy stuff back in the day. Then Fox had some good ones, but Fox went a little loopy sometimes sometimes they threw in some live action stuff like Briscoe County Jr., which was cool. And then you always had some fun blocks. Darkwing Duck for a little while on ABC in the morning, but early on he wasn't on. But they had some very cool stuff. Like you always got Schoolhouse Rock was playing at that time. Do you know what Schoolhouse Rock is?
Yes, I do.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Because if I had to explain what a bill was to you, I don't know if I could do it.
Oh, I thought you meant the Jack Black movie. I'm sorry, Mick. I'm just messing with you. I'm just talking.
Did I get it wrong? Is it not?
No, you said it right. No, I was just messing with you.
Wait, I'm not talking about the Jack Black movie.
I know.
But am I getting it right? I feel like I said it wrong,
right.
and now my brain is melting. I'm like, is it called School of Rock? House of Rock? What? No. What is it called?
I thought maybe it is House of Rock now that you said House of Rock. No, it's school. No,
House of something. Oh my God. My brain is going to fucking melt. Not the mama. Everybody,
yeah.
McDonald's lost their personalities. They did. They used to look like playlands. Now they look like prisons. And I think they're trying to bring back. Thank you. And I think they're trying to bring back that personality, but it's just not working. You know what? I want to look up cereal toys.
There you go.
Cereal box toys.
I think that's the only one I really remember. It was that one that I think Tarzan straws. I remember that one too because they changed colors when you started those cold liquid going through them.
I remember the straws. I remember the spoons you would get, like those little things, stuff like that. I always felt like cheated. It's like, what is this shit? I don't want this. I think these are new. Like, I think they tried to start bringing them back. Kellogg's supposedly has a big somebody was going for a TikTok ban on or like a boycott on Kellogg because they came out and they were just like, what? You know what's good for dinner? You can't afford food for dinner on inflation. Have cereal for dinner.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm paraphrasing. I'm not even paraphrasing. I'm just like downright like I'm just taking some of the words he said and throwing them out there. But it is the basic gist of what he was saying. He was like, just have cereal for dinner. It was basically like, are you starving? Have cereal about it. Yeah. Everybody can afford cereal.
Yeah. They should use that for fucking selling ramen. I mean, I eat ramen anyway, but I mean, it's cheap as hell. It fills you up. Sugar Puffs. What the fuck is that?
You don't remember sugar? Oh my God. You're that
I've
old.
never even seen that before.
Sugar Puffs. Yep. Yeah. They're just straight up sugar. It's just sugar and puffs. That's all they were. Look at this little lightsaber. I remember these.
That's cool.
I forget where they were. I remember a lightsaber. I don't remember I got to have a cereal box, but I thought around re-release they started doing Star Wars and cereal again. That might have been something else. I'm trying to find some good ones. Like, what's this stuff? That's not. Oh no, those aren't cereal box toys. What is this? These are bullshit toys. Oh, these. Remember back in the day, you used to get these things. They used to throw them up against the wall, and they would just like
stick
down. Yeah, they would just stick and then kind of flop down. Or you could get them in vending machines too. But I had this. It came with a bowl on the cereal. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. They would sometimes do that. Batman did that. They had a bank. I have it somewhere. I don't know where I put it.
That's fun.
I have it. I just don't know where I put it. I gotta find shit all over the place. Yeah, so they had that. I had the Ninja Turtle bowl.
Yeah, they can bring these back.
They do, man. Right? Like, yeah, these are cool. The little submarine things. Oh wait, no, maybe these are wrong. I don't know if these are same things I'm thinking. Oh, I remember these.
I didn't know they did Simpson toys.
Nope. Oh, they did everything back in the day, dude.
Bike reflectors? That's really cool.
Yep. Look at this.
Make you want to ride a bike more. Yeah. Spoons.
Dude, you were all about it. If you could get parts for your bike, make it look cool. Oh my God. That was the 90s, dude. Like if you had the thing to make your bike look cool, yeah. You were cool. You were the man. Then you got your bike stolen.
I didn't know they had a Jaws and Back to the Future cereal. What the fuck?
I mean, I'm sure they did. I mean, the Jaws would have had to have probably been around the same time the Back to the Future was because they weren't making like Jaws cereals in 1975. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but this is probably some old stuff. Yeah, spoons were a big one. Tops, magnifying glasses, and they just stuck stickers of all the crap on.
It works though.
But sometimes I love these, the super subs in the bathtub.
And I love Captain Crunch.
Yeah, dude. You used to be able to get Captain Crunch figures or like the soggy guys or whatever. I did love the super sub though. Like you could just like, and it would like whoop, and like kind of bloop out. Like it was kind of cool. I always had a good time with a lot of these things, man. What was some of your favorites?
It was mainly, I just remember spoons and the straws. I don't know.
Oh, I remember these from Fruity Pebbles, the dinosaurs.
I just don't remember a lot from cereal. McDonald's more so than others, but
you got cheated, man. Your generation and below you guys, you got cheated because you remember spoons and straws. You were getting the crap. This stuff came in Fruity Pebbles. There was some really cool stuff you could have got. And when you really dug down deep into it, like there's some fun, awesome stuff that came in cereal. So I'm gonna rub that in your face a little bit more. No, I feel bad. They do. Oh, these did. These came in. These were the DuckTale toys. These are proof of purchase ones, though. You had to mail away for them.
That's so cool.
Did you ever have to mail? The Darkwing Duck. Okay, you want a funny story?
Yeah.
Embarrassing one about me before we go into oh shit, 750. Before we go into our reviews.
Yeah.
Right. So they had a Darkwing Duck keychain. It was him on his motorcycle. And it was a flashlight. I forget what cereal it was. I think it was a bunch of them. I think it was Kellogg's who did it. And I saved up the proof of purchases, sent away for it, was waiting. Got a package on my birthday. Now, this is one of my rare occasion birthdays where my mom was really in charge and ready to go, and I was having a good birthday, and people were coming over.
Hell yeah.
Man, I opened that pack. It came the day of. I was so excited. She was like, why don't you open it when everybody's at the table? I did. Boom. You know what they used to do also back in the day in the mail? They used to get your name, put it on a mailing list, and send you free samples of stuff in which on your 12th birthday, when you get tampons in front of your friends, it's not the greatest day of your life. So, yeah.
Oh, damn.
That's yeah. So that's the one. That's it.
How you fuck up Michael Kimball thinking you're a female at that time?
They didn't care. They just got your name and your address through mailing list. So I guess like if I signed up or something. So that's my story. But I did get it, and I do have that too. I have that in a keepsake box somewhere. I will look for it so I can show you. And yes, Derpy, we are. Thank you, Derpy. We are getting to the reviews. Absolutely. Right now, actually. And we're gonna do One Love first. Yeah, we're gonna be doing Godzilla and X Kong, The New Empire, and Bob Marley, One Love this evening. So yeah, I just finished One Love last night. I watched it with my wife, who is a big Bob Marley fan. Mm-hmm. She did not finish it with. I don't think she's gonna go back and finish it, but I don't think her interest is all the way there. Not gonna lie, I love Bob Marley's music. I've read up on him, things like that. I've seen interviews. I'm not saying I know the man. I was really looking forward to this biopic. Mm-hmm. I didn't love it. It does not drill home enough for me. So it essentially, just so everybody knows, it's Bob Marley. Sort of starts from 1976 with his peace concert in Jamaica, and then him having, right before that happens when he gets his assassination attempt, and then he goes in, does the concert, and then he has to leave Jamaica for fear of his life. And it's just about him kind of leading back towards, performing, becoming a bigger and bigger success, and leading back to him finally finding out he has cancer. And you get flashes of like his past, how he met his wife, him and his mother, who his father was, things like that. I love biopics. I especially love biopics of musical artists when they're done right. Mm-hmm. This was one, in my opinion, not that it was done wrong, but I put it on the level of like Bohemian Rhapsody for me, where it was like,
absolutely,
the music was really good. Mm-hmm. The performances were not bad. I didn't love it. Mm-mm. So, well, share your feelings, man. What did you think about it?
So I agree with you, and I make the same comparison. I thought they kind of dropped the ball like they did with Queen. I just feel like they didn't put enough emphasis on just enough of who they are. Like I wanted a proper biopic. So like for me, for instance, and if anyone's listening, like I think a good biopic is Love and Mercy, because I didn't know a lot about the Beach Boys or Brian Wilson. I thought that one was great. And this one just didn't. It just seemed like they just took little snippets of things, and they had a lot they could have done with the Bob Marley story, like a lot.
Yeah.
And they just kind of either skipped past it real quick or just brought it up and that was it, and on to the next scene. And I just feel like this was just more of a cash grab to get all the Bob Marley fans to go see it because they love Bob Marley, and it just didn't live up to. I don't think it did him justice, in my opinion. I think it was kind of sad that they didn't pay him, I think, the dues that he deserves for his musical talent and who he was.
You know, one thing that I'm a big fan of, and I really appreciate your words there and what you were saying, because I do agree wholeheartedly with what you said. And to add to that, one thing that I really do love, I like watching a lot of documentaries, concert films, stuff like that. I love learning about the artists almost more than I do their lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, so I watch a lot of interviews, things like that, especially like Bob Marley was one that I really enjoyed, because I love his message too. So always listen to him, and he's always quoted, and that's a big thing for me. When somebody's quoted a lot, I want to make sure they're quoted properly. Mm-hmm. So I tend to like look into people, and I have in the past. So what bugged me about the performance of Bob Marley by Kingsley Benadir, it was so morose. It was so depressed and sad, even during the interview scenes and this. But like, now I'm not going to say I knew Bob Marley and I know exactly how he was at all times ever, but pick a theme, because but even like the footage of him you used in the end is vastly different than how this performance was during the movie.
Yeah.
Now I understand he was shot. I understand he's going through a lot. His wife was shot. Like it's a lot. I'm not taking anything away from that, but and then he gets the cancer. I'm not saying it has to be this amazing uplifting thing, but I feel like that's what Bob Marley was.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it would have been any detriment to make it that uplifting thing, not this morose, like introspective look at the man, but this man and his message who didn't waver from who he was, loved life, wanted to talk about life, sing about it, have everybody sing with him. That's the movie I wanted to see. I wanted to go in there and just like through the whole thing, have Bob Marley's like positivity like radiate off that screen.
Right.
I didn't get that. I got a really sad, like sort of Bob Marley that was kind of boring. Yeah. So like I said, the performances weren't bad. I don't blame anybody for the performances. I think that you're just doing, what the director wants and how it's written and such. So well done performances. It's just not, I don't think it was interesting how this was portrayed personally. So, but I think with the music and stuff like that, it's a middle of the road movie for me, and I think we both gave it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
I might even kick that back down to 2.5 personally. Even talking about it a little bit more, it's like really middle of the road. Like check it out or don't check it out. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I just don't think I miss it. But
you're not missing anything.
Yeah, but I mean, like, listen, to each their own. So like, check it out for yourself. You may see something that we didn't appreciate about that, and let's hear about it. So let's move on to the movie that I'm sure some of you are very interested to hear about, and I know I'm very interested to hear about Paul's take on this. I gave a bit of a review on it on our Godzilla show, episode 13 last night, but I'm not really touching on it. We will be doing an in-depth discussion about this franchise and this movie and where it brings us and where it could possibly go on that episode, on that show in a few weeks. But here's the review for it. So, and our ratings and stuff. But Paul, I want you to let's tell them what it was about.
It's about Godzilla and King Kong. No,
there you go. Actually, you know what? That's really all we need. That's all we need. Tell me what you thought.
I actually because a lot of the reviews I had gotten very light from you and a few others was just that it was fun. Which was a good enough review for me to begin with. I actually did enjoy this one. I wouldn't say it didn't seem like they kept the serious tone that they kept with the last 2 or 3 movies with this current Godzilla and King Kong. But but I kind of enjoyed the funness of it and how they shot some of the scenes when they were fighting. I just forgot that creature's name.
Well, they had Shimu, who's the white lizard sort of thing, and then they had Scar.
Scar is the one I was thinking. Sorry.
Yeah, Scar was the other monkey.
But those scenes where they're both grouped together to fight, I thought they were pretty epic scenes, and I thought they were done right, and it kind of reminded me of like the earlier Godzilla movies. Just in how they look, because they look, I don't want to take away from it and say they look goofy, but they looked fun. Like it looked like kind of the older feel of the original Godzilla film. So I actually did enjoy it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I kind of enjoyed that they did a different tone, in my opinion, than, like I said, they did with the other three. Even though I did enjoy the last three, I thought the tone was a little more happy-ish, and then just them fighting, and I thought it was well done. I think that's one that everyone should go see, especially if you like the other ones. I don't think this is the one where you're like, man, I don't want to ever see Godzilla or King Kong again. Yeah. So I don't think they dropped the ball like Ghostbusters 2. So
yeah. You know what? I appreciate that. All right. So I get that. Good review. Appreciate that. I really did enjoy this movie. I enjoyed everything with and I call them kaiju. Fine, Titans. And I'm not being difficult saying they shouldn't call them Titans, because this is the American version. It's fine, but I'm going kaiju on this. So if anybody gets mad about that, that's why. And for anybody who's not aware, I do host a Godzilla podcast over on the channel where we rewatch everything Godzilla and go through and talk about it. We just dropped episode 13 yesterday. And like we touched down on this movie. And the reason I say that is because that's where I'm going to go really in depth. So like, I do know what I'm talking about when I talk about Godzilla. So like, somebody may be watching this clip or listening to this podcast later today and is like, well, how do you know who Godzilla is? The city's just wearing one of his shirts. Like, first of all, the shirt is available now over on snobsmerch.com. Secondly, cheap book. No, but seriously though, like, it's, to me, this movie with the kaiju worked perfect. It was fun. It paid a lot of homage to the Showa era, which is the early days, the old school King Kong days. I think it's the most, and I'm not on any stretch of the imagination here, lighthearted of all of the Kong, of the Godzilla Kong movies that have been coming out in the legendary universe and the Monsterverse, as they call it. I don't think it's the worst. I had a good time with it. The worst part about this movie is the human element, which is sad, because as I'm rewatching everything, and I've rewatched 2014, rewatched Skull Island, rewatched Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Godzilla versus Kong, and Monarch Legacy of Monsters, every one of those movies had a really good human element. Not great. Legacy of Monsters, in my opinion, is the absolute best human element we've gotten in the Godzilla thus far. And I'm mad that they made this TV show, had us watch it 2-3 months ago, knowing it takes place years ago, and they didn't get together with them and somehow correlate or bring somebody in or something connected in some way with this movie, rather than give us what they gave us, which, great. The human element sucked. They were there as a plot device to kind of read the hieroglyphics that we couldn't understand, that we didn't really need read to us. They were there to fill all those little plot holes that, like, hey, his arm is hurt. What are we going to do? He'll never survive with his arm hurt like this. We got a glove. It's like, so there's so many, but like I suspension of disbelief, because it's a Godzilla movie and I have seen so many Godzilla movies, and human element takes a lot of suspension of disbelief. A lot. This is a movie that's fun. This is a movie that's a good time. Don't worry about the human element. It kind of sucks that they ruined a couple of the human characters they've already established and set up as better as they were, but whatever. But they gave us Mothra, and I always love that. And one of the most adorable scenes of Mothra and Godzilla. So all I'm saying, this was a good one. I think it needs to be checked out in theaters. It's just that much fun. James is watching. Go check out his review of it too. He would love it. They add when the monsters are shouting at each other. I can't agree, but Adam. So go back and watch the movie. I think it's Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, and Godzilla goes up to Anguirus, who is one of his pals, another prehistoric monster, and he hears something going off in like Tokyo, and there's like aliens attacking, and he's like, Anguirus, Go check that out. And it's done in such a comical way in a bubble. I was like, so if you're going to do that, but it's Japanese. so if you're going to do that, that's how I want it. That's the captions I want for the monsters talking to each other. That would be funny. There was a lot of silliness to this movie too. Like Godzilla hates Kong. He hates Kong. And when he's just like, no. He tackles him. Oh my God. King Kong, he got through the ringer on this, but I would really like to see more. I had a good time with it. And listen, it's doing so well, it's gonna get more. I can't see it not. But our ratings for this season, 3.5 each. We were on the same page both times tonight.
Yes.
This is a good one for me. I say go check this out in theaters. And this actually plays to our earlier talk where we're saying lighthearted versus dark and horror. I think it even fits in mainstream movies. Like if you're not giving us good movies, studios, like where you were getting really good stories, give us movies like this where it's fun spectacle. Like if we're going out to the theater, like I don't mind not having a great human element story as long as I'm getting stuff like this. So, and it's the same with the Fast movies and stuff like that. Yeah, Fast X, everybody was going crazy about how much it sucked. Even I thought it sucked, but it's still a Fast and Furious movie. I'm not expecting the world, man. You know, like come on, like well, it just wasn't the same. As what? That's a franchise that reinvented itself like 17 times in 10 movies. Yeah. So I don't mind doing that. Like even the Marvel movies, like you're getting too highbrow. Just give us the spectacle. Just let us enjoy. Just have some fun. Dumb it down a little bit for us. Give us the hero's journey, and we'll have a good time. They just did it with Dune, and guess what? Master plan. It was wonderful. So I don't think we need to worry. But let's get into my mixed movie pick for tonight from 1954. It's a good thinker. It's a good a lot of movies were based on this, and it is Seven Samurai by Akira Kurosawa. Great film. I mean, if you haven't seen it, absolutely go check it out. I mean, we're talking Godzilla, which is also from 1954 and Japan. But this is probably one of the best movies to ever not just come out of that country, but ever be made. Magnificent Seven. You've seen all of those Westerns and other heroic movies where a small band of heroes may get together and defend the town. It's all comes from here, man. Seven Samurai does it perfectly. Go check it out. And it really makes you think. There's a lot of introspection into this movie about, can you redeem yourself? You know, what does redemption look like for each person? And so much more. There's a lot of thinking, a lot of beauty to it. Absolutely just a great film. So every cinephile should go fall in love with this one, I say. So
okay.
That's our show. So I'm gonna skedaddle. I'm gonna thank our sponsor for this evening. Link down below, Shopify. Guys, go try them out. Get your free trial now, and you get your first month. You get a free trial for 7 days, and you get a first month for $1. Why not? Start your online business. Get an end to help you all the way through. Why not? And we have tons more ready to go. We're still on Noom, which is down below. They're offering right now online trial $10. I love Noom. Noom really helped. I thought it was great. And we have a ton more. So we'll be talking about that. We have a lot more sponsors. They're going to be signing up, so you'll be hearing from them. But make sure you're also joining up on our Discord. Link down below. We'd love to have you over there. We might be doing another selfie war coming up very soon, so you're going to want to be a part of that. Make sure you get in there. It's been a long time since one of those happened, but we'd love to have you. And go check out our Patreon. There's some fun stuff coming up. We have a brand new live show that may be coming to Patreon exclusive and Discord for a little while, but you're not going to want to miss it. That's for sure. But yeah, we'd love to have you, but you're not going to know what comes out unless you hit subscribe and hit that bell. So you can come supporters and hang out with us, be part of the Snob Nation, join up on the Snob Society, and just generally be badass like the rest of us. Just really cool people. Outcasts everywhere, but together we are a community. So, Paul, you got anything you want to say before we take off?
Hey, pollen season is upon us. Make sure you're taking your allergy pills and washing your cars. And just remember, every blind squirrel finds a nut, you guys.
I love it. Go get your tickets for CFF now. Link down below. It's out there. Everything's out there. And if you have questions, we will be doing another Horror Conversations this Thursday at 7 p.m. But until next time, I'm Mick Manhattan.
And I'm Paul, producer.
I always love to screw with you on that one, but I promise you, it's because we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it right. That's how we do it. But we got to be kind, stay classy, take care of yourselves, because that's important. Bye.